Hi, so I have seen Tron ARES. My expectations going in, I knew that they had that original script that they were working with that was developed under Joseph Kosinski. Even if the returning characters or the legacy characters' roles were diminished somewhat, I thought for sure that they had to be in it. You can't have a Tron movie without Tron himself. I thought they were saving something special in the same vein as Spider-Man No Way Home to kind of redeem certain characters, to carry on in a significant way with these characters' journeys that we love and care about. I just was hoping for the best, obviously. I want the best for this IP. Starting out, the marketing for this film was pretty good. I say bravo to whoever cut those first two trailers because he really made me think that we were in store for something special. But a month before the film was set to debut, it's like they wanted to quash all of that, all of the hype and anticipation and expectation. They just wanted to kill all of that. And they came out and said that no one besides Jeff Bridges was returning for this movie. And we already knew that Jeff Bridges only had a very short appearance in it. And Bruce Boxleitner came out shortly after and said that Disney never even asked him to come back. And that just floored me. All of my coverage of Tron 3 was hoping for the best. I had a lot of theories of what they can do that would be truly epic. And then when the director and producer said that not only were these characters from Tron and Tron Legacy not going to be in this new film, there were articles coming out that confirmed what the premise of the movie was going to be, where Sam and Quorra were, and that in the years since Tron Legacy, NCOM fell on hard times, Sam had left, and now NCOM was basically saved by Eve Kim and her development of a space paranoids / Fortnite game, and that she was the one that will continue on Kevin Flynn's work on the grid, evolving it. And so basically they just took Sam's character arc, his future character arc, and gave it to someone else, and they excluded him from this installment in order to do that. That's what they revealed right before this movie is set to debut. So yeah, I was very disappointed. And there were these like little Easter eggs about Sam's Ducati, which we already had seen before. So people were still kind of holding on to the fact that we could possibly still see Sam in some way, even if it was for maybe a cameo. But I didn't have much hope because the director pointedly said there was no one else but Jeff Bridges returning, so I didn't have any reason to hope in that regard. And lo and behold, they were right about what we were and were not going to see from this film. Tron's not in it, Alan Bradley's not in it, Sam, Flynn, and Quorra aren't in it. This is a complete standalone, and hardly anything connects to Tron and Tron Legacy in any meaningful way. So in the beginning of the film, a single sentence basically just says that Sam Flynn is nowhere to be found. He left the company for personal reasons, and that's it. And they don't even mention Alan Bradley at all. They don't mention Tron. In the entire movie, they do not mention them. All we're given is just these Easter eggs. We wanted to see the continuation of these character stories that we already know and care about. We wanted a significant way forward, an enrichment and expansion of the first two films. So this is the premise for this entire film. We're going in a new direction. And I just feel that if you were going to do that, why didn't you just make up your own script? But you intentionally took the script that was originally conceived as a sequel to Legacy and morphed that. And it took like 15 writers later to get to its current iteration. And oh my Lord, you can tell. This script was so bad. The dialogue was so bad. The delivery was so flat and lifeless. I thought it would at least be entertaining. Okay, so you're not going to service the fans. You're not going to service this IP. It's a standalone story. Okay. It's not a good film on its own. It's filled with characters that they don't bother to really introduce us to. They're just there. I felt like I was watching a series of components of a film forcibly stitched together like Frankenstein's monster. None of the visuals that I saw could elevate that script to where I could just shut my brain off at least and at least enjoy the pretty spectacle and the soundtrack. I couldn't even enjoy that. The story was so terrible, poorly conceived, underwritten, underdeveloped characters, which is insane to even say considering this script was worked on over the course of 15 years that you had it in your possession with 15 writers that had their mitts on this. This is what you pumped out? We were waiting so long for this. Fans were ready, and again, I feel like Disney continues to sabotage this IP, and this just continues the tradition. They don't know what to do with it. They don't have the imagination. And I get why some are saying that of the visuals and the soundtrack. I was very excited for Nine Inch Nails to be chosen for this. It was a great choice. That's icing on the cake. Of course, that's nice to have. But if you don't have a good story, then it doesn't matter to me. It's so forgettable. It's the story that makes films like this stand the test of time. The original Tron, I mean, that was underappreciated in its time, and even now people say that it's dated. I honestly think those visuals are so unique. They were groundbreaking at the time and achieved so much for the field of cinema. So original, so unique, and such a fascinating world. But it is the story and the characters that made that film so beloved. If you don't have a good story, nothing else matters. If you can't write characters that make me invested in their journeys, that make me immersed into these other fantastic worlds, the original Tron achieved that. Great characters, likable, relatable, charming. It is the characters that made everything work. And then when it comes to Tron Legacy, that has it all. Incredible visuals. And I'm sorry, nothing that Nine Inch Nails did even comes close to Daft Punk. Those were huge shoes to fill anyways. It was a simple story, but it was compelling. And again, filled with likable, interesting characters that we felt immersed in and invested in. It had the whole package. And this is missing so much of what made those first two films special. There was no depth to it in terms of the themes regarding technology, computer science, even its religious themes were all gone. All of the things that made Tron unique, made it special, weren't in this. I really did think we were going to see more of the grid. They teased that we were going to see multiple grids in the trailers. I would say that 20% of the film takes place on the grid. That was a lot of people's big concerns with this film, is that what makes it so unique and fascinating is the grid. But no, it felt so small, and the stakes seemed so much more intense in the trailers than what it actually was in the movie. I thought that they were teasing this huge invasion. Dillinger's evil program was like going rogue and coming into our world. It even said that worlds collide. I did not see that at all. It was incredibly small and contained. I mean, what we saw in the trailer, that was it. It was the one recognizer, which how it even got out of the facility where it was made, I have no idea. It's just there. And 2 light jets. There was nothing that they were saving. That was it. One thing that was disappointing too is that it just didn't say anything. And again, because we spend so little time on the grid, that's where all these deeper themes reside, is what takes place on the grid. And on the grid, these programs, they're anthropomorphized. So having ARES just be devoid of personality was so strange to see. It just didn't fit with what we already know and have experienced with the previous 2 films. And they kept saying this movie is as relevant as ever when it comes to how technology has evolved, especially with AI and 3D printing. And you think that the movie would actually comment on those things. It would actually have some deeper themes like the first 2 films did. The first film, you see the programs, they regard the users with such reverence. And even Sark, when the MCP is telling him that they brought a user on the grid, Kevin Flynn, he's visibly shaken. He's like, users wrote us. A user even wrote you. He was very put off by that prospect. That was, again, a unique thing to this particular IP. We have had so many different IPs that have talked about AI and that have done it in various compelling and unique ways in their own right, like The Matrix, The Terminator, Battlestar Galactica, Blade Runner. Superb. But Tron was unique in its own way too, and having this grid as this fully fleshed out universe, and again with these anthropomorphized programs that also delved into spiritual themes, these deeper themes in different and unique ways. And like Tron Legacy dived into that even more when it came to Flynn creating his own system, the perfect system, and the strive for perfection and the pitfalls and hubris that he experienced with that. That was interesting. It said something and had a compelling father-son arc at its heart. Those first two films had heart and soul. Tron Ares is the definition of a corporate cash grab. Soulless, it is heartless, and says nothing. I wasn't in the best space going into it, but considering that people were saying its visuals are good and the soundtrack is great, story is very weak. That was the theme in all of these early reviews. Looks great, sounds great, but story's weak. And that, of course, doesn't make me feel great. Like, okay, so this is going to be shut your brain off popcorn film? No, it wasn't. I couldn't even enjoy it as a shut your brain off popcorn movie. It was so boring. And a part of that is it's really hard to be immersed in a story where they really just don't make you care about the characters that are in it. Okay, so we have a new set of characters. We're going in a new direction. But I felt like they said Sam, Flynn, and Quorra aren't in it at the very start. Here's Eve Kim, the new CEO of Encom. And then we're just following her, but it doesn't tell her story. We're just told in exposition fashion about her. We never experience why we should care about her. There's no progression. There's no character development. It's a movie that takes all of the worst tropes and stereotypes of Hollywood and combines them. The villain's not really the villain, he's complicated, so he actually turns into the hero. And then we just have this strong female character that just has all the tropes associated with it. We're just told to care about her. We're just told that she's amazing. This happened several times, that we're just told about Eve Kim through a series of news interviews, news montages. Ares watches a couple of these, and this is supposed to serve as his reasoning for joining with her, for going against his programming and rescuing Eve Kim from Dillinger. We don't see this happening other than him just watching news clippings and him going through her text messages. Nothing is shown to us about what these characters are experiencing to make me believe why they make the decisions that they do. And that's just called writing. And they didn't want to do that. They just want to tell us that Eve Kim is amazing. She's a new CEO and she's the one that saved Encom and she's the one carrying on Kevin Flynn's legacy. We're just told that. And we're told about her relationship with her sister. And this storyline was clearly originally conceived for Sam Flynn. It has gone through so many levels of creativity by committee to end up in this iteration with Eve Kim assuming all of this. It was clearly originally supposed to be Sam's story, who just recently lost his father, dealing with that, and having the weight of Kevin Flynn's legacy on him of what he died for. That could have been so interesting. They just completely ignore the events of Tron Legacy. They come up with this MacGuffin story. They're all trying to find the permanence code. It is the most ridiculous thing since Rise of Skywalker. This is basically that level of storytelling. It's just a side quest after side quest, this race to find the permanence code before Dillinger does. This whole movie encompasses Hollywood's worst tendencies, these tropes, to the point that more and more even actresses are coming out and saying the strong female character, they're just avoiding any pitch that has that in it because they're underwritten. There was no character arc for Eve Kim. She just is. We're just told she's the new CEO of Encom. She's saved the company. And then we see her try to find a code hidden away somewhere in Kevin Flynn's work on the grid. There is absolutely no hero's journey. We are never really truly introduced to this character. That is the trope. They pushed characters out of the way, the heroes of the previous IP in the previous films, push those out of the way, no good explanation why, and literally just feels like they inserted them. What journey did she go on? What did she learn? What did she do? Or Ares. Nothing seemed impactful. Like as far as the reasoning for why Ares decided to align with Eve Kim in the first place, nothing significant to make me believe why the characters are making their decisions. I felt nothing between them. There was no friendship between them. It was filled with ensemble characters. I don't know why they were there, but to provide some comic relief, but it just came off as cringe. And again, the delivery for most of this dialogue was so bad and lifeless. It felt like everyone was phoning it in, including Jeff Bridges, which astounded me. His scene, I thought maybe would be the best. I don't know, I was looking forward to that, at least. What was he? They don't explain it. They don't explain why he was there. Like when ARES finds him in the 1982 NCOM grid, I think what he said is, "I'm here because you're here." It was something so superficial and not even an explanation. But that's what this film is. There is no explanation for why anything takes place. They don't have conviction in what they're trying to convey. They don't know what they want to do with the themes and with this IP. It is so clear. It just doesn't say anything profound. It doesn't do anything. The possibilities are endless with this universe. They could have explored so many things. It's just one of the most forgettable films I've seen in recent memory. I am very disappointed, and I want the best. I want to have more Tron. I did what Bruce Boxleitner said. I went to see it opening weekend, despite what I knew would break my heart, not showing due respect to the Tron franchise as a whole with its themes, but also what they established with Sam Flynn and Quorra and Tron and Alan Bradley. Not even mentioning him. And throughout the entire marketing campaign too, it really started to annoy me that Bruce Boxleitner wasn't anywhere to be seen. They didn't invite him to anything. And Jared Leto even, who was like the face of the marketing campaign for this movie, never even mentioned him. I guess the silver lining of it is that the writers just did not know what they were doing. The 15 writers that it took to make this corporate soulless crap, I'm glad at least that the characters that I love were spared. That's one way of looking at it. So thank you for not including Sam Flynn, Quorra, Alan Bradley, or Tron, because you could not have done those characters justice. So I don't know what'll happen in the future. The box office prospects are not looking good, and I can't imagine why, considering the fact that Jared Leto was the face of this movie, and you killed any hype and anticipation weeks before the movie was set to debut. I can't imagine why it's not doing great. So can you give the fans what they want now? Are we going to have to wait another 15 years for you to throw this IP and the fans a bone? They did leave the window open for more entries, but who's going to write it? It might end up being the end because, again, Disney just thinks that they can do whatever they want. From a general audience perspective, they think that they can serve the audience crap and that we'll just be happy to open up our wallets for that privilege. They just think because they have a famous IP and a big budget, that's all you need. There was a lot riding on Tron Ares. I don't know what the future holds. If this is the end of the Tron franchise, it's entirely Disney's fault. I want more Tron, of course, but I want it to be worthy of the Tron IP. I want it to be good. I want it to succeed. And it is so disappointing to again have to face hubris and ego from these Hollywood studios. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you've seen Tron Ares, what did you like? What did you not like? Do you think there's any hope for the future for more Tron? Do you think that Disney will ever give the fans what they want? Will we ever see Tron again? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, have a very nerdy day.